did a study to find out what percentage of kids under the age of 10 know where milk comes from. Did you know a third did not know that milk comes from cows? They thought it's just at the store. Do you know why? Because we have no clue what farmers do on a daily basis. You and I don't. We don't even think about farmers. All we think about is, why is this food so expensive? Farmers have become greedy. But we don't realize that the Strait of Hormuz challenge that's taking place right now, 33% of global fertilizer seaborne trade passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Just in 2025, you know what percentage of farmers filed bankruptcy last year? Up 46%. These people could go 1, 2, 3, 5 years making nothing. And today, it's the worst it's been for them in a long time. And when we think about farmers, I think about the feeders, they feed you and I, the builders, and the risk takers, and only 9% of Americans that are in farming are under the age of 35, which means what? Young kids are not growing up saying, I want to be a farmer. They're saying, I want to grow up to be a YouTuber. We need more people wanting to be farmers. We're going to talk about the challenges farmers are facing today and how the war with Iran is impacting their bottom lines today. If you get value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And to the 51% of the audience that watches us on a weekly basis, but you don't subscribe, it would mean the world to us if you click on that subscribe button. Having said that, let's get right into it. So, prices of fertilizer in just the last few months went from $350 per ton to $600, and these farmers are being hit by it. Now, when we think about farmers, the shipping crisis is making your grocery prices higher, not because farmers are trying to exploit you and I, it's because they're going through a challenging time right now. By the way, the average farmer, people don't know what their margins are. In a good year, farmers make 3 to 10% net profits. Average year, 0 to 5. Many years, they'll make nothing. Literally, they will make nothing many years while they're building their business. So as they're going through this is the challenge. I got 4 things going on. Number 1, farmers' problems equals consumers' problems. So if you're wanting to fix your problem, we got to help the farmers out. Inorganic inputs, so fertilizer and chemical costs, that's one of the things we're talking about. Number 2, energy costs, production and transport. That fertilizer that's coming here, that a third of the world's fertilizers is being done right now by China, I think 25 to 30%. You got India's on that list, you got Russia's on that list, you got, I think Belarus is on that list. Couple of these countries are on that list that we're going through. So you got production and transport. Well, if the Strait of Hormuz got a blockade, guess what's not coming to anybody? The fertilizer that you need. Number 3 is a geopolitical issue, shipping wars, tariff, all of that stuff. We're definitely dealing with this. And a labor pool, migrant workforce, native population. Some of these folks that are sitting there saying, hey, I lost my workers that are willing to work on farms. I don't have anybody. It's kind of impacting me. We got to kind of take advantage of some of the people that are here. We need their help. Hey, let's bring them back. That's a whole different immigration issue that's impacting our farmers. Next, profit margins where they're at. Farmers do not benefit from higher costs. They're trapped in the inflation cycle themselves too. So meaning retail prices increase are absorbed by middle market costs, packaging, processor, financing, high interest rates, labor, anticipated 3% increase in production costs for 2026. Farm profit margins are likely going through negative this year, meaning farmers are probably making nothing in 2026. So if you look at this, the farm input squeeze 2020 to 2026, fertilizer costs up 63%, machinery up 38%, fuels up 38%, repairs and supplies 27%, chemicals 22%. They are having issues financially themselves producing the product that you and I need. By the way, when you think about different industries farmers are at and what kind of money they make, row crops, they make 2 to 8%. This is corn. If you go to dairy farms, 0 to 5%, they don't make a lot of margin. Livestock, beef and poultry, 5 to 12%. And the ones that make good money is the niche markets. Like we got a couple farms here that we go and buy the eggs from there. It's organic. It's ran typically by a family. They make 10 to 25%, if not higher. This is why farmers heavily rely annually on the federal government to give them money, or else they're not going to be able to survive. You know what we paid them this year? In 2026, I believe the budget is $44.3 billion. You know what that number was just 10 years ago in 2016? 2016 was $12 billion. We went from 2016, $12 billion to 2026, $44.3 billion. Because if we don't pay them, they don't make money. They leave the industry and they go to a complete different business. And by the way, in Florida right now where we live, live. Since 2005, do you know 90% of the orange groves that we have in Florida, you hear about like the Orange Bowl, everything in Florida is about orange. Since '05 till today, 90% of all the orange groves have been destroyed because there was a blight that they claim came from Asia. Some are allegedly saying this came from China. They dropped it to hurt the Florida market. Students come up here, they hurt the farmers. 90% in Florida, and the business is still solid, but 90% was impacted by. So the risk that they have, weather, conditions, all of these different things, they still get up every day. Just like Paul Harvey said many years ago when he told the story of God loves farmers, there's a reason for it. Let me continue as we're going through this here. Imagine being a farmer last 6 years. You dealt with COVID, all the regulations, travel, everything's shut down. Oh, give me a break. All I'm trying to do is make money. That hurt them. Ukraine, 2022, 2024. Why? Again, fertilizers, 18%. And now you got the war that's taking place here. That's impacting them as well. So shipping disruptions do not stay in the Gulf. Inputs leads to planting decisions, leads to crop yields, leads to grocery shelf prices. And then what happens? Post-epic fury, U.S. urea import costs jumped 30% in a single week. By the way, last but not least, this chart I want to show you before we wrap it up. 70% of American farmers today cannot afford all needed fertilizer. 70% of all farmers cannot afford the amount of fertilizer they need today. If you want to get even more specific of by what product, rice, 88% of them can't afford it. When it comes down to cotton, 86%. Peanuts, 84, sorghum, 80, oats, 73, wheat, 70, soybean, corn, fruit, barley, vegetables, 61% they cannot afford a fertilizer. And if you're wondering market-wise what area it is, 78% is what region? Us, where we are, okay? Southern region, 69% is northeastern region, 48 is Midwest, and then you have 66% that is the western region. This issue, you may be watching this saying, why should I care about this? Well, if you care about the food that you're eating, if you care about, if you're not going to do the farming, because I'm not going to do it myself, it's not something I choose to do. I chose a complete different profession. You also didn't choose to do it. Just like somebody chose to serve the military and go to, wherever they are in the world right now, 18 months away from their own families. It's not a job you and I decided to do. We want people to choose to serve the military the same way we want people to choose to wake up every single morning wanting to be farmers. And the most important thing they need is what? An incentive and pride that you and I are grateful for them, and we understand the challenges they are facing today. So whenever you hear conversations about farmers, wherever you go where you run into farmers, we had an event a couple weeks ago at Trump Doral, and there was a man, I was telling the story of Paul Harvey about God-loving farmers. He comes to me afterwards on my house. He's got his old hat on. He's a farmer. We sent a bunch of our guys to his place. A guy named Saul, Mario, and a couple other guys went to the farm. A couple different people are there, spending time with them. The stories, the pride it takes to do what they do. If you run into a farmer at an airport or anywhere else, and they say they're farmers, or they're farmers, take a quick second and say thank you for your service. Because without them, you and I and America would be in a lot of trouble today. If you got value out of this video, give it a thumbs up. And to the 51% of the community that watches our content but hasn't subscribed, click on that button. It means a lot to us, helps us out with the algorithms. And if you enjoyed this video, you want to watch another video I did 3 years ago on farmers protesting around the world. Click here to watch it. And then last but not least, if you want to get the notes of everything we discussed for free, click on the QR code somewhere around here. Go to the PBD Entrepreneur Circle. You can download the notes and then go share it with your friends, family, and talk about it as well. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.